All right, y'all, we're back.
back.
We're Black and White Randomz podcast. I'm T.A.K. Scott. This is
Trish.
all righty. So those of you guys that's joining us for the first time,
Hello.
hello, how are you? Pretty much throw a bunch of random topics at Trish. Some of them might be repeating. We might reference some past episodes or whatnot.
Try to tell you which ones they were if
We'll
we can
see.
remember at the time. We'll do our best.
Just remember to like, comment, share,
and subscribe,
whichever platform you're on, because
Yep.
some of you guys might just have to follow or whatever that looks like.
Yeah. And if you want to watch the podcast, like if you're listening, you can find the video versions on our YouTube channel. It's Black and White, and then REACZ for reacts, and you can watch if you want.
Alrighty. Here's a topic for you.
Okay.
I might have to drop a little bit of back knowledge of this, how this topic came about for you.
Okay.
But anywho, the topic is biracial kids not being shown or raised in white culture.
Oh.
Now, this came about because there is a white TikToker.
Okay.
And she pretty much had to address something with some of her white followers because they were upset with her because she's not raising her biracial kids in their white culture. Yeah.
We've had this conversation before, y'all.
No, we've had a similar conversation.
Yes. No, about the idea of culture.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And her take on it was she don't even know what the heck white culture is and what that means.
Thank you.
She was like,
I don't either.
I wasn't raised with white culture. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, everything that we have, we pretty much stole from somewhere else. So,
it's
like, what
does
that
even
even mean?
That we've said. I don't remember which we did.
And furthermore, she was like, I pretty much let my kids decide which way they're gonna go with that. Yep. She was like, I'm not forcing them to do anything.
Nope.
To be on one side or the other. She was like, but like, I don't really understand what that even means. She was like, yes, my kids have relationships with their black side of their family. That's who they relate to. She was like, and also I don't really agree with white folks like past, like as far as their family relations to black folks in this country. Mm-hmm. She's like, a lot of us still, our parents and our grandparents still hold ideologies of past. Mm-hmm. And the past wasn't necessarily that great for
it's nothing to do
black people.
Yeah.
And I guess wherever she is, I'm assuming she might be somewhere near the South. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But her kids aren't really treated a particular way by the white family. I guess they're not as close with them for whatever reason or another. She never hinted at the fact that she never like said flat out like it's because her kids are biracial or her parents or grandparents, whomever, could potentially be racist. She never said any of that. But I get the feeling that might be part of the case, how she was going about the story. Right. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I feel like I usually hear it on the reverse, and they accuse people who are raising biracial children of not having them connected to their black side. I feel like that's the first time I've heard an accusation thrown in the opposite direction. But either way, your child is naturally going to connect to one side of their family, even in when you have parents who are the same race. You connect more with one side of your family than the other. It's got nothing to do with, in this instance, I don't think it has anything to do with their race. If they're not connected to you, that's something that you did that made that child feel they can't connect to you.
Like, see, like, I don't even think, I think they thought that she intentionally was guiding them in one direction or the other.
Well, that would be part of their ignorance that she was implying, because you would naturally assume that it had something to do with the child or the mother and nothing to do with you, nothing that you've ever done. You would naturally make that assumption if it was an ignorant
I don't know. Thought. I always feel like it's a bit weird, like with biracial kids, because it's like you could potentially have one side that does not agree with the fact that you are in fact biracial.
You could.
And your parents are entered in an interracial relationship in the first place. Mm-hmm. Or it could just be the opposite, where don't nobody care and them kids gonna go whichever way they want to go. Right. And I feel like it's unfair of people to, like, if they, relate more to the white side of their family, to basically like, man, like you should know your roots type ordeal. Like you're
Right.
definitely black and da. Let's be for real. Majority of society, even on them kids, and we all know they're biracial, people are gonna look at them like they're black. Period. Point blank. You're gonna have some people that's like, oh, they half and half, they're this, they're that. But we know what types of people I'm talking about that are gonna look at them and be like, oh yeah,
absolutely,
they're black.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's one of those like, if they were to be in certain areas in certain neighborhoods and they get pulled over, you think the some of those officers will stop them and be like, oh yeah, he's biracial.
No.
Like we're not gonna bother him because he's partly white. Like no, that's not no. It's not. There's certain cops that see the fact that he has or she has black mixed in them, and they're gonna jump to conclusion. And on top of that, let's not forget, certain mixed kids can pass for other races as well. So it's just like, can we just look at them as people? Like they're people at the end of the day. Like they're gonna go one way or the other or whatever it is. Heck, they might be a complete mixture of both sides. Who knows? I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like let them kids be. And I feel like judging her because those kids might not be connected to the white side of their family for that reason. You don't know that woman's upbringing.
No. I'd be willing. I'd be like I said.
And because she felt as strongly as she did about the white side of her family, it's giving like they are super racist, or they don't agree with her life choices, or they don't agree with the kids, or whatever it is. That's how it was coming off. So why would you want those types of people around your children?
Exactly. I'd be willing to bet if she did a more detailed story time, more than likely there's something like that from her childhood that she decided she had to protect her children from, and rightfully so. I'd be willing to bet on that.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So, 5 signs a woman has been mentally abused. What do you think they are? Come on, psych major. Come on now.
Insecurities of multiple kinds.
I mean, that falls into one of these categories.
Yeah, definitely insecurities. Probably a low self-esteem, which could be tied to an insecurity, but could also just be its own separate issue. How deep are these?
I feel like you're going the broad spectrum with
right.
this.
Okay, you mean like detailed specific things.
Like super specific attributes that she might show.
Okay. I don't know, because it's so unique to every person though.
All right. So these are textbooks supposed to be like 5 signs that women do show when they are like mentally abused. She always apologizes even if it isn't her fault.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Is one.
Yeah.
Never believes compliments.
Yeah.
She tends to start small fights, which that also falls in the category of small little explosions, emotional outbursts.
Right.
Okay. Then you have she needs a lot of reassurance.
Yeah.
And last but not least, she never asks for help.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, familiar. Yeah. But anyway, yes. And it's just wild that those are like supposed to be like the 5 most like characteristics that she'll display if she's been mentally abused.
They are very accurate though. They hit hard. They hit hard.
The problem is like, what steps do you even take to start healing from that? Besides, like, the obvious answer is go get help, go to therapy.
Right, go to therapy.
Right, like that's the obvious answer. But like, what does that even look like?
The first thing is to get away from whoever it was that caused that abuse. It could be family, it could be a relationship, it could be a bad friendship. More than people automatically assume it's some type of romantic partnership, but that can be family too. So the first thing generally is you got to get away and put space between you and whoever that person or people are. That is really hard for people to do.
That's wild.
That's the thing that prevents a lot of people from starting that healing process.
I don't know.
And then you got to go there.
I just hate to say it, but like, yes, these are all, but if you're gonna go broader, these are all like insecure things that you would do.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are super, like they fall under that broad category,
Yeah.
like category of being insecure. These are like the branches off the tree
Yep.
of being insecure, and it's like, what do you even do if you have a friend you notice like this is a continued pattern over and over and over again? Because like at the end of the day, like you got a stubborn friend, like that's the end all be all.
Yeah, you
So
know.
what you fit to do? Because there's no way, like, but also, this kind of ties back into like
Mm.
a woman that can't receive compliments already. You can't even get into another relationship, not one that's going to be successful, not one if you want a masculine man, because like this goes back to last week's episode, but like with feminine and masculine, like that balance. So if you can't even receive something as small as a compliment, that means you can't receive period. Like I feel like you got a lot of blockers up. Like
you do, but
and
it's typically because when you've been in any type of situation, like a family or a friendship or relationship, whatever, more often than not, that compliment is very quickly followed by either an insult or it is used to soften you up to get what they want out of you. So the genuineness of it, you can never believe the genuineness because it's normally in the history of your lifetime been followed up with another hard hit. And you just learn to stop accepting the fake compliment. But learning how to weed those out becomes a challenge.
I feel like it's more mentally a challenge for that person than anything. It's not
It absolutely is mental.
It's a huge challenge.
It is.
Because you can't sit there and hold everybody else to that same standard moving forward.
No.
Now, I can understand how you would do that to your next partner if it was a significant other that did that to you.
Mhm.
Like you might do that if you immediately jump into something else.
Mhm.
Or I don't know how long that would even take to heal for real. Because like that's multiple, like
that's a lot of layers.
That's a lot of layers to like try to like, oh snap, like I gotta pull this up and I gotta heal it. Dang, like that's crazy.
Right. That's a lot of work.
Like
and it takes time.
It's a lot of work. That's wild. Anywho, here we go.
Okay.
How irritated would you be out in public if someone tried to get your attention by physically putting their hands on you?
Not as irritated as you would be.
Bro, I'm flipping out straight out the rip. Like
not as irritated as you would be, but
no.
I would be like, what are you touching me for? Like,
don't touch me.
Mm-mm.
You don't know me. Do not put your hands on me.
You can barely touch her if you do know her.
We're not doing all of that. That's what we're not doing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing more disrespectful than that. Whatever happened to going, hey, excuse me.
Right.
I feel like now people feel the need to try to flag you down physically because most people walk around with like AirPods in and stuff.
I was literally sitting
now it's like,
that.
oh snap! Like, how do I get their attention? You better not put you better wave them arms or something, because what you're not going to do is grab me on my shoulder and turn me around and be this close to me, and I don't know you. Like,
yeah, the only time that, like for example, when we used to go out a lot, if we were trying to get through a crowd, I might occasionally put my hand on someone to kind of like let them know we were coming behind them, right? That was fairly normal for that type of environment, right? Mm-hmm. But when people do it in like the grocery store and stuff, that's too much. You don't need to be doing all that. If I didn't hear you and you're trying to get my attention, you don't have to touch me. But if you do, I'm not going to be as aggravated or agitated as other people would be. Mm-hmm. But if you try to get my attention and I didn't hear you, or I'm having a conversation with my daughter and you have to, touch my shoulder or something, I'm not going to jump to frustration. But I do see how that is a boundary that we just really should not cross, period.
Absolutely. I don't understand how people think it's okay to physically touch somebody you don't know out in public. This person know you from a can of paint.
No.
And how crazy people are now, you touch the wrong person if you want to.
Right. Yeah, you never know who's touching you and you don't know who you're touching.
No, and then all these new diseases and stuff keep coming about. Like, don't touch me.
Yeah, don't touch her.
Oh my gosh, bro. I'm trying to tell you, you touched the wrong person. Like you fit. I'm telling you, you might get the mess like that, especially where we're from.
Yeah.
It is an absolute no go. You go ahead and put your hands on somebody you don't know.
Yeah, and don't ever touch someone's child.
What?
Hell no.
Like I said, people are really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Anywho, moving along.
Okay.
Underdog mentality. How do you think this actually helps athletes?
Okay, I was not one. However, I can imagine that if you never assume you're going to come out on top, you fight harder for it. But I don't know if that's underdog. Like I don't.
See, the underdog mentality is not necessarily assuming you're gonna come on top. It more so has the the remnants of everybody that's either a watching a sport or has their favorite, which is usually at the top. They've already counted you out, even though you do have the ability in your mind. You have the ability to be able to be on top. But hence, prime example. I'm gonna give you an example. So we're gonna use Fly J Johnson from LSU, right? They won a national championship. Um, she was like, she started as a freshman for LSU. So let's start with that. They won a championship, right? They came off the championship last year, and then they lost to like one of the top seeds, like in their first couple of games last year. So like that was a hard hit.
Right.
Her thing is, I think what happened was she didn't immediately get ranked in her class as one of the top like sophomores. So what did Fly J do? Fly J went and put in the work, or going into her sophomore class, she wasn't like ranked at the top. She probably was like, I don't even know what number, but it wasn't in the top 3 or 4.
Okay.
She felt some type of way about that. Fly J went, kept putting in work in. Mind you, Fly J was all, her thing is, you gonna keep discrediting me. I'm gonna keep showing you better than I can tell you type mentality. So they did this once before to her previously, where I think the rankings for her graduating class from high school came out, and they had put, I don't know how many freshmen over top of her, but it was, well, freshmen entering college at that time over top of her, but she was not in that top, probably like even 10, I don't think, coming into her freshman class and going into high school. The McDonald's All American game, she went ham because she felt like she had something to prove. Okay. Like they kept doubting her. She went in, they got their championship. Then after that, they lost to like one of the other top seeds or whatever that year, whatever. And that did something to her. And then they didn't rank her in her sophomore class at the top neither. And they just came off a championship run. Yeah. Fly J started going ham when she found out them rankings last year. Like it was something that clicked in her head, like, oh no, y'all not finna disrespect me like that. But also I feel like as the underdog, what happens is a lot of times those people with all that talent, they let their foot off the gas a little bit. So when they do this, the rankings for them or people rooting for them start getting less and less because they start lessening, like they taking their foot off the gas. Like at a point they start getting, there's some type of comfortability there, because even like in that the situation with Fly J, it shouldn't have took you being not ranked for you to be like, or not ranked where you thought you should, to be like, oh hell nah, I'm getting ready to go ham.
Right.
Prime example. Another thing. So even with, if you think about it, Angel Reese, same thing. I'm coming out. I think I should be ranked higher than what I think I should be drafted higher than when I'm being drafted. But I'm gonna be humble and I'm gonna take that 7th seat and I'm gonna take it on the chest. I'm gonna get drafted 7th, and then when I get into the W, it's not really pressure right now, but everybody's still chirping on the other end about the top ranked player coming out of my class, this, that, and the third. Not to say that she was caring about Caitlin at all. She knew off the rip she really never had to worry about being rookie of the year.
Yeah, she did say that.
But I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do what I do best, and I'm gonna do it even better to a higher caliber. And I'm gonna come in and I'm breaking all these WNBA records.
She did. Right.
That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna keep my name out there. I'm going to the All-Star game as a rookie.
Right.
Only 2 rookies made it. Her and Caitlin Clark. That's
Great
it.
figure.
Which we pretty much most people knew if you follow the Angel's career. Period point blank, people can say whatever they want to say about Angel. Angel is popular.
Yeah.
Period point blank, you're not going to be able to take that away from her. She is popular. Y'all haters make her even more popular. That's the crazy part about it.
Right.
Y'all just keep putting her name out there. So guess what? There you go. But what shocked people was they didn't think Angel was gonna start shooting jumpers. They wasn't super accurate, but now she's starting to build that confidence. And going to Unrivaled, she's gonna have to put things in her bag.
Yeah.
People like she doesn't care about basketball. Why? Because she doesn't post her in the gym practicing 24/7. And when y'all do see her out in her free time, y'all never say nothing about Caitlin Clark when Caitlin Clark was at the MLB games and all the other stuff on her time off.
Yes. Looking for
because
something.
Caitlin's game is not as developed as it probably is going to be in the next 5 years.
I don't think any
anyone's.
of them. Yeah,
any
no
of
one's
them.
is.
Period. Point blank. Any of them.
No.
Like y'all sound crazy.
You can't start at the top. You don't start at the top. And if you do, you will fall before you get back up there.
Other underdog mentality. Masai. I think her name is Masai Russell. Mm-hmm. The chick that won what was it? The hurdles. Was it 100-meter hurdles or whatever it was at the Olympics? From Maryland, like they didn't expect that girl to win.
Yeah, no.
They didn't expect her to go over there and win. But her being her, I'm getting ready to strap my shoes up and get ready to go out here and I'm getting ready to prove. And she's not super tall anyway. She's smaller built. They didn't have faith in her. She had faith in herself though.
Yeah.
But it's all the naysayers. The naysayers is what makes you an underdog. Period. Point blank. Because people always gonna root for the person at the top, but they're not gonna pay attention to the person that could potentially sweep you out.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like even with Sydney McLaughlin, Levroni, when she first won that first gold, they didn't think she was gonna be able to beat Femme Cabole or whatever that chick name is. When they first started racing, they had no faith that she was gonna be able to beat that girl. And as we can see, she keep breaking records every time she stepped on the track.
Literally.
That's a record breaker. That's a whole broken record. Just
broken.
How many? I'm just keep breaking my own because I'm the only one in the world that's this fast.
Catch up with me, sure will.
Like this chick, and now she's starting to run faster than 200 meters. Y'all better watch out.
Right, she got more records to break.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I ain't mad at her.
Go break all them records.
At the end of the day, like,
yeah,
it's just like, man, like I could just remember like stepping on the court when I was like younger, and being on a court full of like guys, like it would be girls versus the guys, and when I say guys, I mean these grown men. In Baltimore City, you ain't nobody tell you hoop down Drew Hill Park at a point. There's a couple other like little, but back then, like there's certain parks you can go to in the city, like you knew you was ready to strap up, lace up, whatever. And I went down there for my birthday, bro. And me and my friends straight went ham on these grown men. And it's only because, mind you, we was just mind our business playing 3-on-3 on the one side of the court at first. Straight chilling. What men do? They see females on the court. You want to compete. Y'all are men. We know. We were just out there just trying to have fun. It was my birthday week too. Like my birthday was the following day. I just wanted to play basketball for my birthday. That's it. So
that's such a you request too.
That's all I want to do is play basketball for my birthday. I ain't want to do nothing else. Here come these grown men. Oh, I see y'all over here, but getting in it. Y'all not gonna do us like that. Yeah, okay. Girl, we lit them up.
I know.
And this is the crazy part about it. Apparently, one of them dudes on that team was one of the top dudes in the city at the time. And like at the end of the day, it's just like, yo. Whatever fire they lit up under me that day, bro. Oh my gosh, it's like stupid, straight crazy.
I can imagine.
Like one of the best like street games I ever probably played.
You don't like to be underestimated.
It's not even that. Just don't even come at me with that nonsense. Like I just couldn't be out here enjoying myself.
Right. Like I was literally out here.
Like minding my own business. Like, don't even know that you talking to girls that have been playing AAU their whole life. Like, literally playing competitive ball, like literally every day. We play during season, off season, when everybody else wasn't playing. We got tournaments and seasons that don't nobody else playing. Like at the end of the day, it's just one of them like F around and find out mentality. Like
That's exactly
try
what
me and
happened in
find
that
out.
instance.
Like I don't know.
Mm.
That's just weird, but I feel like a lot of people actually have that in them.
Mm.
Because it's like, you gonna keep doubting me. I know I have these skills in my arsenal. They might not be as developed as you think they should because
Right.
you have not seen them come out of them yet. But here you go.
Right.
Now I'm about to hit you in the mouth.
Literally.
That's
Or
how they go.
figuratively. It's up to you.
Figuratively. Let's see what else I got in
Okay.
here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this chick, once again, I was watching the story earlier. So I guess this chick has like a salon or something, and one of her clients was like confiding in her because she started letting her 12-year-old daughter's boyfriend sleep over at the house in the same bed with her daughter. And oh, by the way, the boyfriend is 15. Shh. The boyfriend is 15 years old, a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old. Now, it doesn't seem that bad when you're older, 3 years, whatever, 4 years, whatever you would call it. Like, it's not that bad. A 12-year-old and a 15-year-old developmentally,
I don't care if the young man
all
had
the
been
way
12
not
his damn
even.
self. You did what?
And let him stay in her room with her, same bed, whatever.
No.
Now her problem was, the reason why she was confiding in her was because now that she, the boyfriend is trying to stay over more often, she's trying to have the boyfriend stay over more often. Now it's a problem because the daughter is becoming combative. And she's like, well, yeah, either way, like, she's on birth control. First of all, why is your 12-year-old on birth control? That's also none of my business, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you already out the gate encouraging this mess. Period. Point. Once you put your child on birth control, like, you got a 50-50 shot that your child, maybe not even that. I feel like the percentage is higher for them to go out there and have sex because they can't get pregnant.
If they understand fully
in their mind.
Yeah.
Which means that as a parent, you also got to make sure that the child is taking that birth control when they're supposed to.
No.
Like, you just doing too much. Absolutely. And then the chick was like, yo, you exposing her to a whole bunch of stuff, potential diseases, like, not just the pregnancy portion of it, mentally being like messed up in the head, like like, these are emotions that a 12-year-old should not be going through.
Not even.
Like, you're going to cause this child more damage than anything. She was like, this is borderline like neglect. She was like, I feel like you're a neglectful ass parent.
I'd like to hear that. No, your 12-year-old does not need her boyfriend spending the night at your house.
No.
Nah, absolutely not.
No, I don't even like parents that let their teenagers do it.
No.
Trust me, I went to high school with some parents that was in their teenagers do it. I'm like, y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
And y'all wonder why these kids turn around and having kids at 16, 17, 15, 14 years. Like, y'all crazy.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way. There's no way in hell.
And most parents outlook on this is,
they're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it anyway. Okay, so why would you allow it to happen in your house? I know people who would bring their boyfriends home from college, knowing, and the parents know that they live together. And even inside of their home, they could not even stay in the same room at 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah.
Like, the father was not playing it, the mother was not playing it. No, the boyfriend sleeping on the couch, whatever. Because my thing is this. You have to have some type of rules, boundaries, morals.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
If you're engaged or married, that's a different conversation. Dating, there's no way in hell. Ain't no conversation to be had, nothing.
My thing is, people fail to realize that sexual maturity is something for adults. Yeah. It is not for children. Period. Point blank. Their hormones are already all over the place. No. And then people are like, yeah, but like productively, like we're hitting our puberty, and I'm like, yeah, but remember back in the day when girls were actually having families at 12 and 13 years old, the life expectancy was what?
40.
The healthcare was what? Like, let's be for real.
If you can believe our health.
They had to have kids earlier. Life expectancy was like 35.
Yeah,
like come on, yo. Like, let's be for real.
Yeah, that's a trash ass excuse. I'm sorry.
It is just really like it's irresponsible as a parent.
It is very much.
It just is.
Yeah, no.
Oh, they gonna go out and do it anyway, so I'm just going. I'd rather them do it at my house.
That is the worst justification.
It is the worst excuse for a parent.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for you not to be a parent, is what it is.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Because my thing is this. Okay, let's put it this way. If they go out and they do it, and they away from the home, all of that falls on them for making a choice outside of the home after they defied what you said. There's a way to deal with all of that. Period, point blank. Me allowing it to come into my home, I'm just asking for a potential grandbaby or my child to potentially get a STD, STI, whatever. At that age, like it's just a lot to deal with. On top of soul ties, like you can talk about a whole bunch of things because some people don't believe in soul ties. And, no, I'm not. I said, okay, keep not believing in soul ties all you want. Your child is picking up and learning from this other individual a lot of things. Yeah, they're emotionally learn. It's one thing for your child to date while they're in high school. Okay, dating is one thing. Yeah. Okay, it's a whole nother thing for your child to be enthralled in a whole full out sexual relationship. And don't get me wrong, I know majority of the kids growing up like they wanted to have sex early or whatever the case may be. Right. Okay. Let's look how damaged your ass is, because a lot of y'all are super damaged. Super.
Yeah, I'm not giving you permission to do it in my house.
No.
No. That's not happening.
No. The answer is hell no.
No.
All right. Women with small friend groups. What's your opinion on this?
Y'all need to downsize your friend group with the quickness.
With the quickness.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, like a lot of dudes couldn't understand why they would think it was just friction. Women just can't get along. Because even when they have friction in their friend groups, they'll dismantle from each other, but they'll still hang out with each other, but distance themselves. All that is because they can they compartmentalize things.
They do.
Right? Women, nah. She crazy. She doing crazy shit. She's impacting my life this way. And you'll even have girls in your friend group that literally be sitting next to you, jealous is all get out.
Yeah.
And doing things like stupid stuff. Like you'll start noticing them start picking up habits that they never had before. Like a whole personality trait of yours. Or I've seen girls so much. So like one of them have like some type of illness in the group. Now all of a sudden the other one got the same illness. Like dumb, sick, twisted shit. Like, no. Like, or you go to talk to them about, let's just say you having a ton of relationship issues, right? A normal friend will sit there and listen. You might put your input in, whatever. You got some friends, you could bring something to them as small as, hey, guess what? Me and him, let's just say we ordered out, and girl, we ordered out and I was, gonna offer to pay for the meal, but he paid for everything. Something a man should probably be doing anyways, if they're serious, whatever. He told me no, he didn't want me to pay for anything, and he ordered everything. Came up, the bill was probably like $250 for everything that we ordered that came to the house. We just gonna say it was something expensive, right? Okay. You can have a female be this petty about the whole situation. Girl, you know what he was doing? He was trying to act like you was broke. Some goofy shit that don't even make sense. Yeah. Like, for real. Not the fact that, and then we'll have you up there, like, second guessing how you feel about this man. And that y'all just started talking to you. Like, yeah, in your friendship, you go and hit your homegirl up and let her know, like, hey, like, we went out, whatever. You gonna spill some tea, but the response this person is giving you shouldn't automatically be questioning everything that happened on the date, right? Unless it's something like serious, like girl, that man might be a psycho type ordeal.
Right.
But
Something that
once
actually
they start
warrants
putting them
concern.
little toxic warriors in your mind, now all of a sudden you sit up there second guessing everything. Now you got problems in the relationship you ain't even started yet.
Right.
There's a lot of weird stuff that not women, girls
Girls.
do. And
Yeah.
you got to learn how to weed them out.
Yeah,
And
they
to
need
be honest, the older you get, the easier it is to weed them out.
absolutely.
It
The
just
natural progression of adulthood will weed out those friends. Going from single to dating, dating to engaged, married, then having kids, and having kids will absolutely define friendships or break them. That will definitely make a difference. But like y'all just want numbers. Y'all just want friends for the numbers. And if you're going to be that type of friend group, then that's where it stays. Y'all just friends for the numbers. Don't try to be close to those people. Because there's your friend group, then there's your friends, then there's your best friends. There's like this, it's levels to it. Like y'all gotta learn where to put people in these levels.
absolutely.
And
But
these
what I
layers.
was
And
saying,
if they gotta go, they gotta go.
they definitely have to go. I think the thing came in where men would start to notice that I guess the female had more male friends, and I can understand why that would be a problem, right? I can understand that. But as far as like the females, just as long as she got one or two like really good homegirls,
Yeah.
fellas, ain't nothing to worry about.
It's
Now,
not.
if she don't have none at all,
That
that's a yeah. If you can't find not one woman out here on this planet that you can get along with, you're the problem. It's you.
right.
You have 10,000 problems. I don't know where you should start, but figure it out because there's something wrong with you. Not one you don't have. There's no female on this damn planet that you could find
Yeah.
that you got along with that you can actually call friend.
Yeah, like even like the us being friends now, we weren't always this tight. You've always had at least one consistent female friend. But she had a lot, you had a lot of male, she had a lot of male friends when I first met her. We weren't friends at first, but that was not a red flag for me looking at me being her friend. Like she had one, she just don't like stupid shit. We just don't like that.
I don't know.
The
But
older
I've
we get, the less we
also
can tolerate.
I don't know, but I feel like the older you get, you start realizing that, like, yeah, you can hang around dudes to a certain extent, but they're not like having your homegirls,
No,
your best friends.
They can't be.
And no matter how much, like, they're see, this is the thing. I feel like females can always create a barrier between a male-female relationship. Majority of men that hang around females are hanging around them for a reason. Whether it's that they think they can get something from them right away, if they wait a little bit, they can get something from them. If she was to have one of them stupid whatever nights, you gonna be the option type dude. Like,
yeah, there are a lot of not all of them, but there's a lot of them.
Because trust and believe, I had one I thought was never gonna try to hit on me, and it's yeah, okay. Had one thing on one night, and it received a message. I was like, "Oh, like no."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's small friend. There's nothing wrong with small friend groups.
No.
There's nothing wrong with having maybe one, if you're a woman, one good female friend and a couple of acquaintances. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Just
take it from us. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. I would just say, just mind the company you keep.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This gonna be a one because this is one of them topics we got to go back to, and only because recent videos, news, and all types of stuff have been dropping about this, and it's the same thing that I said. This is going to be the straw that breaks the Diddy case wide open. I don't care how many other celebrities, government officials, CEOs is tied to this case. And the only reason why I'm gonna say this is because it's Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just letting you know, Justin Bieber is gonna be the thing that busts that case wide the hell open.
It might be.
And only because even outside of whatever it is that he says, or anyone that was in his camp says, his family says, whatever, there is videos and video proof of this man crying out for years in interviews, even coming into contact publicly with Diddy face to face or whatever, and them having the whole interaction, and Diddy trying to laugh and play it off, and Justin Bieber like no. Then you got others like famous celebrities, or he doing an interview and y'all asking him about his sex life when he like 15, 16 years old. And he like, yo, my mother in the room, all types of stuff. You got this weird ass video with him and Odell Beckham and all this other stuff. Like, it's just weird shit that went on. And yes, he might have been a little bit older with the Odell Beckham stuff, but like that's something you expect for somebody that was sexually abused by the same sex.
He was giving a lot of clues.
He was giving a ton of clues. Then potentially, like I said before, Usher had to have groomed this man for Diddy. It's no way. Like, it's weird. And even if Usher never touched him, you brought him to a predator.
Yeah.
Somebody that was a predator of like literally attacked you.
That makes you just as guilty.
Like, this makes you just as guilty.
To knowingly do that, it makes you just as guilty.
Like, knowing he did this shit to you. And supposedly one of the rumors is Usher was like raped so bad that
I saw that online.
Whatever was ripped open, he had to go to the hospital.
I did see that. I believe
so much so that his mom knew and still took him back. Like, I think
our conversation. So I think this would be episode. Like we said, we normally don't revisit topics, but if you're curious, I think if you look at our titles, when we title them, I think it's episode 14 and 15.
Absolutely.
This will be 17. So if you want to hear the extent of our conversations on this topic, you can go to those episodes. But
I'm pretty sure one of them has Diddy's name in it.
I think both of them do.
Okay.
I also think now you can see a headline online and it might not be true. However, if it's true, it sounds as if Justin Bieber's mother is ready to tell all of this shit.
Probably,
and if that's true.
Also, remember, he started going to, even though Kanye might not be the best person, but Kanye is not weird like the rest of them.
No, not like that. He's weird in a lot of ways, but not that way.
So he started going to like church and seeking help and trying to get himself into the Bible and choosing Christianity and all this other stuff, trying to get himself away from that stuff.
Yep.
And I hope that he gets healed enough to where, though, first of all, the man gotta get ready to raise a child and still wounded.
Yeah, so, he's literally right now has a baby.
I can tell you right now, that's gonna be the most protected baby on this planet, because I know he's not gonna be playing it.
No,
like he's on that type of time where, though, I think he's going to have to make a huge decision whether or not he comes out and tells in as much detail as he can what was going on with him. And it's going to shut down the whole damn music industry, guaranteed.
Yeah, a lot of it. Probably about 95% of it.
Like,
people who were sexually abused, they either go one of two ways in adulthood, and this is like psychologically proven. They either become a perpetrator or they become the extreme opposite end, where they are the utmost protective. You're never going to get to that kid. That child will be looked out for and protected from those things. It's only one of two things that tends to happen. You either become it or you decide not to be it, and you actively do what you have to do to protect not just your own child, but any child in your presence. So I hope he goes I hope he goes on the other in the other direction from that. Know. But if Usher did that note, brought him to Diddy knowing what happened,
Justin Bieber was the key to this whole thing.
He might be.
I'm trying to tell you,
he might be.
He is going to be. And I hate to say this, but no matter how many black kid superstars were molested by this man, the one little golden boy is going to bust this open. And I'm not trying to discredit anybody, not even his experience, because that's a traumatic experience and it should not have happened to any of them kids. But as we finding out that most of Hollywood, whether it's on the movie side, TV side, music industry, y'all pretty much all had the same agenda by messing with these kids, getting them high, molesting them, even down to like as early on as like somebody like a Drew Barrymore. Like, they was getting that girl drunk at like 9 years old, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Had her addicted to cocaine and by the time she was 12. Like, at the end of the day, they know what they doing to these kids. They try to keep them drugged up. They keep them at a bay.
Yeah.
So people think they crazy. Oh no, this story can't be true.
You know whose name just jumped in my head? I haven't heard her name connected on this, but Lindsay Lohan. That's exactly what the hell happened to her.
Oh, absolutely. Amanda Bynes, all on.
Yeah,
Just,
Amanda
I
Bynes
guarantee.
too.
Guarantee.
I've never heard anyone.
You know the one
connect
that I'm
Lindsay's
waiting
name
to
to
come
this,
out and
but
probably
like,
say something else? Demi. Demi just her case was she already had mental stuff going on with her.
did you
anyway,
actually
being
like?
bulimic
People
and
pointed out. Did you? What was the song the song after when she came back after the overdose, the one about Wilmer? Did you actually listen to the lyrics of that song? She basically says in that song, "How could you ever have seen me as an object of desire at that age
well,
I
she
was
said
at
that
and
in
your
interviews
grown
though.
self?"
She came to
But
that
that
way
song
before
was
the
like she spilled
song
all the
even
tea in
came
that
out.
song.
Girl,
All the
it was
tea.
tea she already was spilling. She wrote the song after all that, but yeah, she had came out and said that a while ago, even before that stuff was released. That she started like once she started healing herself, that
Right.
she came down to that realization. But also, like, first of all, you talking about him. Why was your mother okay with this?
That's
Because let's
that
remember
goes further back.
that whole thing started out because Demi was chasing after him.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that first of all, as a grown man, you should have already been like, no, I'm not going there.
Right.
Whatever. And on top of that, didn't he have another case with a minor or something like that came out?
I think so.
So at the end of the day, I don't know.
Yeah, y'all parents, any of those parents who allowed those things to happen, you're just as bad as the ones who were doing it. And that can go back. That's gonna go back way, way, way far.
Absolutely. And my thing is, I wonder when either Justin's mom noticed something was going on with him, or he flat out just broke down and just was flat out honest with her about what was going on.
Right.
At what point? But like I said, he had characteristics of a kid that was molested.
Yeah, he was.
Because that long stretch of him acting out and all that crazy stuff he was doing in the public eye for that long stretch, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now, it's crazy. And I believe I was watching like Joe Budden, his podcast. And he literally was like, yo, I really had tears in my eyes watching all of the Justin Bieber shit that's coming. He was like looking at everything now. If you go back and start pulling it, he said you will never unsee it.
No.
He was like, you can see it without seeing it.
Even the couple like images that I can, like, my brain remembers the news stories, like the few things that I can see in my head still. No, it's you can't think about it the same.
We definitely gotta figure this thing out now, because for so long, you know who the Coreys are?
I think so.
Feldman and damn, what's the other one? Shoot, they were in oh my god, the original movies they were in, I think the Goonies or whatever. Like they were like the it kids of like the 80s or whatever. Early, yeah, like 80s.
Okay.
They were molested by a lot of dudes in Hollywood, and when they came out and said it, because in fact I think they had some attachment in like the Epstein Weinstein, one of them cases or whatever.
One of them.
And the
maybe
one ended up, I think he died of an overdose. One of them Coreys died of an overdose. But like for years, like they were crying like way back when about this, and they money sweep. They had power back then.
Yeah.
Now all that stuff is coming out, and it's like, yeah,
it's gonna change. That trial is gonna change a lot of shit.
It is, but it's also going to, I guarantee you, these kids that are going to become child performers and whatever, they're going to have so many laws to protect them now. Hollywood's not going to be able to do nothing.
I certainly hope that that's exactly what happens. I really hope that that's what happens. Supposedly, if what I read online is to be believed, the trial should start May of 2025. For the sex trafficking allegations. That's a wow.
It's a wow.
That's a long
but
information gathering
for a while. They're gonna try to take a plea. I don't know what kind of plea you finna. You get ready to get life, Diddy. Let that go. Whatever it is,
you gonna have to plead a life.
This is coming out. It doesn't matter however many years this adds up to. Even if they break it down, whatever they break it down to is going to equal to him being in prison for life.
Yeah,
it does not matter. So at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say some of them charges. You know how they are.
They're gonna focus on the big ones, the ones that they think they can win. It doesn't matter because once it's out. Because here's my thing, TMZ is gonna get all that. If no one, TMZ is going to get all that, even if they decide not to.
I'm waiting on the rest of these names to be released.
Right.
Because my thing is this. Names. Y'all, when is black people out here that names would have been attached. Let's say it was multiple black, whomever. Y'all would already had their names out there rolling around. They'd been shaking
but
dice up.
It's so many supposed government officials. That's what's holding this shit up. That's what's holding it up.
And supposedly they all trying to pay off their victims.
Yeah.
So that their names don't get exposed. That was the latest story on what I heard about that. My thing is this: Jay-Z and Beyonce, y'all look super as guilty. Super, super guilty right now. All this stuff that been said about both of them, about him having kids outside the marriage, y'all ain't addressed none of that stuff. Okay. But as soon as Jaguar get on Piers Morgan show or whatever, y'all making this man apologize. About, nah, ain't nobody trying to hear that. And y'all ain't been back in the country since. Y'all look suspect.
People are.
And then supposedly that whole Aaliyah thing, Jaguar claimed that she got messages about that whole Aaliyah thing and Beyonce being tied to it.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even worry about Beyonce ain't coming back to the United States. Tell us Diddy case over. If we see her inside the United States, I'm gonna be surprised. That's all I can say. Anywho.
Yeah, there's gonna be something we talk about pretty quickly.
I'm sorry for y'all Beehive people, but something ain't sitting right.
Look, the truth is, do I hope it's not true? Yes. But is it looking like it might be? Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about it.
Between Jaguar and that one bodyguard, they've been telling everybody the truth. And the crazy part is the bodyguard actually predicted that Diddy was gonna get arrested in September.
Well, did you have you seen the thing that they keep talking about that tattoo on his back? On Diddy's back. Okay, so I keep seeing this floating around TikTok. Apparently, that tattoo on his back she's supposedly a goddess who is the protector of women and children. So somebody did this whole video and they were like, you went and you got her tattooed on your back, right? And you were doing all this foul shit. Apparently, he was arrested tied to that goddess's celebration of like all of her achievements or whatever. I don't know how to phrase it without seeming disrespectful. So if you understand, I don't want to call it anything that it's not, but they basically said, she said, like, if you are to be believed that, but like basically like, you brought this karma down on yourself. You went and got that on you, knowing what she's supposed to have stood for. And you were doing all this shit. And then you got arrested right at the perfect time for this to be like, yeah, no.
I don't know. The whole thing is weird. Anyway, y'all, let us know your opinions down in the comment section about any of these topics.
Yeah, our rule, because we always say this on our reaction channel, if you guys do decide to comment, please just keep it respectful. Even if you don't agree with someone or you don't agree with what we said, we can have a debate. We're just not going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, we comment back. Okay. We're in the comment section quite often.
Yeah, we're waiting for comments to start rolling in, but just be respectful. That's all. Okay, that's all we're going to ask.
Like, comment, share,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Peace.